The RotoGrinders Daily Fantasy Football Podcast is presented to you by Yahoo Sports Daily Fantasy. Check them out this playoffs. We've got a 4-game playoff slate for you on Yahoo Daily Fantasy. It's a $150,000 baller, $15,000 going to first place. Great payout structure, only $10 on an entry fee. Great tournament for you guys this playoff season. Check them out over at Yahoo Sports Daily Fantasy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final Gillcast of the 2019 NFL season. Some may say that they want it to continue. Some may say they're glad to not have this populating their podcast feeds any longer. I'm Davis Maddock. I'm joined by my buddies Nate Noling, Sammy Reed. Sammy Reed, fresh off of fatherhood. He just had a kid. And delivered a winning lineup to feed his child this week. Unlike Nate and I, Nate's team was real bad. My team was. I gotta say this, all of the listeners out there, my team cashed like only 10-man double ups. Like, it was not very good. But I won about 70% of my head-to-heads today because all of you are so generous. I think that people might throw their games against me or something because some of these scores I play against are really bad. I got a 109 where the person didn't play the Bears defense, didn't play Ezekiel Elliott, and played Kareem Hunt in the flex. Kareem Hunt
sounds like Sammy Reed's lineup.
No.
Yeah, except you're the one who didn't play the Bears defense, isn't that right?
Yeah, Nate, hard fish. So, So I did want to start this though, Sammy. You had this idea earlier in the week just to talk about the fishiest plays that we made all year, and I will never be able to think about the 2019 NFL season without recounting the fact that all three of us faded not only the Will Fuller game, but also the Christian Kirk game.
I think the best part of the Christian Kirk game was that Nate played 4 wide receivers that week, and 0 of them were Christian Kirk.
Sammy walking straight up.
Yeah, the Christian Kirk week was the worst.
Christian Kirk, outside of that game, has not scored a touchdown. That was it.
And I've had him like 4 times. That's why it hurt. The Will Fuller, I haven't played Will Fuller once this year in cash.
Hey, so here's the thing. Let's whet our appetites with that, but let's finish off with the fishiest plays as like a send off.
Okay, that was a good. You're right. That's much better. Let's send him off on the lowest note possible. So our week 15 lineups. Sammy had the best score. It's
week 17, Davis.
Well, whatever. Sammy had the best score. I certainly do not think that he had the best team. So Sammy scored 148. I scored 137. Nate scored 119.
Dude, I don't think I got $100 back.
I actually, as I mentioned, I was able to salvage a little bit, and I actually, I played like Dak and Gallup a bunch in tournaments, so was
awesome. Nate, the only way you were getting $100 back on this slate is if people start contributing to your GoFundMe because you're so broke.
You just need some of the fish that play against me to start sending you invites too, dude.
Yeah, we need that super bad, bro. Davis has a straight racket going. Like, remember those dark times when Davis was just getting dunked on every single week and the sperm bank wouldn't take him because he was too short? And, I mean, people just started, like, sending him head-to-heads. He's made so much money off this. It's out of control.
I would honestly estimate that 4-week period where I just was like getting like DD
for the rest of your career.
DD Westbrook got hurt and everything. Like I'm like I don't even have to post head to heads above $5 anymore because I just get the games. Like I just get as much action as I want from people inviting me. So everyone out there, I appreciate you. I love interacting with you guys,
all these other fish spend time grinding out, figuring out what the most EV games are. You know, grinding out those head. Davis just sits there and let let's fish, send him soft games.
You do.
The long con is just.
You love to see it. You love to see it. So this is, again, one of the only times this year we all three played a different quarterback. Nate's clearly the worst. And then, Sammy, we can talk a little bit about because I almost played your guy for a little while. So why did you play Tom Brady at quarterback, Nate?
Well,
yeah, Nate, why did you play Tom Brady?
It was between Winston and Brady for me. I really wasn't looking at Wentz. And then, it was between Winston and Brady for me. And I went Brady just because he was cheaper. And I just feel like with Winston and no Evans and no Godwin, he's not the same. And I just couldn't pull the trigger on him. It's at like 6'6" with no Winston or Watson or Evans. So it was pretty easy for me to not play Winston this week. But I don't know, Brady, like in a game they needed to win with second highest team total on the slate.
He's just like never, ever getting 25.
Has Brady hit the bonus this year yet? Once?
Gotta be no way. Gotta be no way he's hit the bonus.
Let's say, he did it once against Houston.
Week 13 against Houston.
No, he's done it a couple times.
Yeah, he's done it a couple times, Davis.
All right.
I think most of the time that you see New England in a, I don't know, what was it 17-point spread with like a 31 implied team total at 6K. All these other quarterbacks had questions of whether or not they needed to play. I don't know. I don't feel terrible about the Brady thing, but quarterback isn't where your lineup is made, and I feel much worse about my receiver decisions than I do my running back decisions than I do about my quarterback.
So I played
2 points difference between Brady and Wentz. Not even
Wentz ran so bad. Watch the games, bro. Wentz probably should have had 25. They scored 1 yard rushing touchdowns twice to Boston Scott, and then had a third rushing touchdown for Boston Scott, and he got cheated out of a whole drive when there was 3 points for a defensive touchdown. Like he was having a good game. And another reason why is I wanted to have the option between Wentz and Dak based on stuff in the later games. And I actually played Wentz because I thought my team was not very good, and I thought that he would be lower owned than Dak. That ended up not being the case, but that was I wanted that flexibility. So you're an idiot, though, because on your team, you could have just played the Bears defense and Jameis, which would have been a lot better than playing the Packers defense and Tom Brady, which is what Sammy did.
In fairness to Nate, his team was so bad that not even that 2v2 would have helped him. Yeah, that wasn't it.
Bears D was who I had most of the week, but then when we got the news this morning with Yeldon and I fished it with Bills players, I was like, I got an extra couple $100. I'll throw a Packers D in there.
What news with Yeldon was it?
That Singletary. I mean, everyone was
inactive for the Bills.
They had 3 total wide receivers. I literally didn't think Frank Gore was going to see more than 2 snaps.
I mean, everyone got there for the Bills except for Yeldon and Foster. Like Sweeney got there, Duke got there, McKenzie had a good game. Like everyone got there except for the 2 guys that we played.
The play, Sammy, was great. I know you don't get that.
The thesis behind it is anytime you can play the backup running back for the Bills when their quarterback is out, you just got to do it.
I didn't think Gore was going to see any work.
I mean, Yeldon was fine. Like Yeldon
that is incorrect.
Yeldon is not what hurt my team at all.
That is
CMC was what hurt
just
my team.
That is such an erroneous statement that Yeldon was fine.
CMC was the mistake. CMC was a mistake, and it was a mentally weak play of me. It was the most mentally weak play I made all year. I literally. Projection-wise,
it was very mentally weak by all of us, honestly.
The reason I felt good about it was narrative street. Like, am I an idiot? Like,
I mean, we're all idiots. We all did it, and it's all bad.
I believed in the narrative.
Here's the thing, though.
You did.
We all misinterpreted the narrative. We thought the narrative was the 216. The narrative was just the 67, and that was very clear. It was very do you know that Will Grier played a half of this game and he completed 1 pass for 4 yards, and that was it? That was it. He played the first half, completed 1 pass. We are so lucky to have gotten 22 from Christian McCaffrey. He should have gotten 8. Like the way that this game went, like he literally should have gotten no points.
They only benched Greer because he wasn't getting enough to McCaffrey. They're like,
he got hurt. He got hurt.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
He got hurt. He was
I didn't watch any of that. I was actually like not watching a lot of the games.
If he did not get hurt, McCaffrey would have legit gotten like 10.
Yeah. The McCaffrey thing was bad.
It was bad.
And it was
very
the reason
bad.
the play was bad. Not because it didn't work out. It was because it was mentally weak.
So what I wish I would have done is I wish that I would have played Armstead, Damian, and Zeke. That is what I wish I would have done. I think
if you faded CMC though, I think you would have gone Jones, Zeke.
I for sure would have. So before the Yeldon crap, I had Damian over Reichwell, which I obviously was very good, and is the only reason that Sammy's team was any good was that he did the rest of that because the rest of Sammy's team was egregious. But Damian, I think Damian is just because he got hurt and because there's like the season-long fantasy football narrative about him that he was like a bust and like unreliable. He was like a very good play that no one was on. Like he was not owned and stuff, and he was like a very good play.
You get 35 points from a guy who is not owned. You're gonna be fine.
He was 28% owned.
Yeah, but he should have been the stone chalk. Like he should have been a lock, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he had 19 touches the week before, like, of course.
Sammy, were you worried about Winston with no Godwin Evans?
Yeah. But I mean,
so
I'm going to be honest with you. So my baby was born on Thursday, and so I've been at the hospital like Wednesday through Friday, and I got home and my entire life has revolved around this newborn to the point where I woke up this morning and I'm like, oh man, I got to put some lineups in. But we had a doctor's appointment at like 9:15 a.m. And so at 8:30, I like go into my bathroom and I'm making a lineup while taking a dump. And my laptop is on top of the cat box. And I created a lineup and entered a bunch of contests and then went to my doctor's appointment. That was my process this week. So this is how DFS works now for me.
DFS isn't dead, folks.
Yeah, basically I have no answers to like anything that you guys are going to ask me. I just like put in some plays. And the fact that I boat raced all of you guys just shows what big fish you are.
Well,
you know?
I will say this. Robert Foster was a very popular play in all of the high stakes stuff. He was like very owned. And I mean, that makes me feel a little bit better, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was looking at Robert Foster versus. I mean, you would literally. I think it was a mistake to not play one of those three.
Do you want to know why I played Robert Foster over Duke Williams?
Yeah, I really do.
I had him very close projection. It was within.
Dude, I just went to go look at Duke Williams' player profiler. He runs a 4.7, dude. A 4.7. That's like. I think a highly motivated Sammy could probably get to a 4.7 if he trained for like a couple months. Like 4.7 is so slow for an NFL wide. And
those are boomer legs right there.
Well, also I think when you're thinking about making cheap plays, you have to go. So how many plays, like how many interactions in a game is it going to take for this guy to get there? And I mean, the thesis behind the play was that Robert Foster would not need as many interactions as Duke to get there, which proved to be true. Duke needed a lot of interactions. It just turned out this was the freaking Duke Williams game. They targeted him like 12 times. Like he just like the whole game was about targeting him and not so much about targeting Robert Foster. I mean, Foster had a couple chances or whatever. But I don't know, dude. Just I cannot believe
real bad. I played
losing
2 Bills players in cash.
2 Bills players when they were resting all their dudes and their offense was going to suck. What are you guys thinking? What were you thinking?
So those two guys
egregious.
combined cost $6,000 though.
Yeah, and what did they return?
It allowed me to get CMC, Sammy.
Yeah, it allowed me to get CMC, Devontae Adams, and Ezekiel Elliott.
God, Sammy, you didn't play Devontae or Zeke. I think you're a fish.
Not
I don't need
playing-
any of that
not
noise,
pl-
bro.
Not playing Devontae Adams, given the context of this slate, was
Dude, he faded Devontae
I had
and
Aaron
Zeke.
Jones, bro. What do I need Devontae Adams for?
So this is how good Sammy runs. Devontae Adams literally heads to the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter of a game that the Green Bay Packers are trailing with 93 receiving yards. They end the game. He has 93 receiving yards. But on the very last drive, Aaron Jones gets a 30-yard reception, and then they have to run it to get in place for the field goal, and Aaron Jones gets 6 rushing yards on his last carry of the game.
So hot. I mean, Aaron Jones was a good play. I do.
Aaron Jones was a good play. Playing Aaron Jones over Zeke
not
was
good.
big time fish.
Yeah, that was like Sturgeon Sammy. I just figured he'd be more involved in the passing game than Zeke. I don't know. I mean, I was taking a dump while I made my lineup.
Did you fade
want
Dallas
to do?
Goddard too, Sammy?
No,
Nah,
I told him he
that's
should. That was the first thing I texted in our group chat this morning was like, because I knew Sammy was going to be not playing as much, and I told him just for the podcast, he should just not play Dallas Goddard.
I should have just gone back to Higbee, man. And Higbee like smash Goddard.
Dude,
Super
Sammy,
Goddard
hard.
had like
you-
50
Sammy,
yards at half, and then
You know who had a smash game?
Was it Caden Smith?
8 for 98, dude.
Caden?
Caden had, dude. I was looking at pivots because, like, I had this Robert Foster 0, and I pivoted, or I thought about pivoting, and I did in one head to head where I was like literally so dead I was behind by 70.
Oh my god.
8 for
98 on 11 I'm kind of a bitch for not playing him and just dunking on you guys. Oh my god, that would have
Think
been an
about
all-timer.
how good that would have felt.
that would have
Oh, it would have been an all-timer. Damn it all.
And if you did that, you would have also been able to fade Steven Sims. You literally just could have faded all the locks. You could have just faded all the locks. It would have been good.
Crushed. Damn,
It would have been
damn.
so good.
Missed opportunity.
So, Nate, I mean, we should talk a little bit about Yeldon, I guess.
I don't think
yes,
Yeldon
please.
was a-
I'm
I
all
look-
in for this, you guys.
Here's
So-
the thing. On week 17, when you hear that there are no Bills players that are playing, and you look at their running back list and you go, they're not going to give Frank Gore work. Frank Gore is a 44-year-old running back as they're going into the playoffs. Why would they give this guy any work? And he ran the whole first half. I was not expecting
See, this is a terrible assumption by you, I think.
Why is that a terrible assumption?
Because why has anybody given Frank Gore work for the last 3 years? Just because he's Frank Gore, he always gets work. Like,
No,
why
he's-
did you think that?
because
But they
he's a
made
legitimate, consistent running
Singletary
back.
straight up inactive though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they weren't going to use Gore, they would have made him inactive too.
You can only make so many people
only-
inactive.
Yeldon has been inactive every single game for the past 5. He's finally active. I was just figuring that they were literally just going to – we don't care about him. He can get hurt. He can break his leg. It doesn't matter to us at all. He's going to be the only one on the field. And yet they ran Gore for the half the game. If Gore got hurt here, that would have been – I don't know.
It would have been what? Who cares? Singletary's like playing every snap now.
No, that's what we're saying. We're saying if Gore doesn't play, like Yeldon becomes like a if you just give him what Gore got today, he's like you like need him in cash because he gets like 12.
Correct. But you guys are just assuming that Frank Gore wasn't going to play even though he's active, and it's like, dude, they don't care if he gets hurt. Like,
They benched Josh
Singletary
Allen
is their
after the
guy.
first drive. Like there was so many other – I don't know.
Dude, you guys assumed something and it turned out to be wrong.
Well,
And when there are so many good running back plays. Like, dude, you cannot play multiple Bills.
This is a reason. Not that playing multiple Bills is bad because they were literally 3K. But the point that you raise is one of the first sharp ones you've made on the podcast, which is there was huge opportunity costs in playing TJ Yeldon. I actually don't think I think the opportunity cost of the 3K wide receiver was actually whatever, just because you were passing up on one of Justin Watson, Greg Ward, or Steven Sims, all of who literally could have gotten 0. Justin Watson, who I think got 4, Greg Ward I think got 12, Sims got 18. So I agree with you on the opportunity cost. I don't agree with you at all that playing 2 Bills was bad because they added up to $3K or $6K in salary, which is it's like nothing.
Bro, they didn't score a touchdown. They had 6 points. I mean, come on. What did you think was going to happen?
Well, I'll tell you what I thought was going to happen. I'll tell you how many
3 wide receivers that were active. I thought he was going to be peppered with targets. It didn't matter. He didn't need a touchdown at 3K to pay off. If Foster would have gotten those 10 targets, 8 targets, I mean, there was nobody else who was going to get the targets. And it just went to Duke instead of Foster.
It's tough scenes.
It was, but CMC was a bad play. CMC was the play that killed us. I'm not even sweating these 3K guys. You don't lose in cash because of a 3K guy.
Well, bro, you have 8 spots, right? You have 8 offensive spots in a DST. Out of those 8 spots, you're using 2 of them on Buffalo Bills, who are benching all their offense.
But that moves your instead of playing
the rest of the 6. You played some freaking weird ass receivers, Sammy.
No, Sammy's wide receivers. I mean, playing all 3. This is we talked about this the week when I was in New York. Actually, when you compound the mid-tier wide receivers all on top of each other, you let the floor drop all the way out. And Sammy only found 1 floor game out of his 3 guys.
Cobb, Sims, and Watson have a floor of 8.
No, I agree.
I can't believe that. I don't know.
Individually, they were all fine, but it's none of them as a play were weird. They were all those guys were in play.
I agree. I didn't feel great about my receivers.
If I built 1,000 lineups this week, I don't think I would have gotten to a combination with those 3.
If you had built 1,000 lineups, would you have gotten to 140 points with any of those lineups?
fair point.
So what I had saved before the Yeldon stuff news. was Wentz, McCaffrey, Damian, Watson, Sims, Greg Ward, Dallas Goedert, Ezekiel Elliott, Bears D, which obviously would have been.
That's a fantastic lineup.
Yeah, which would have been a smash.
And then you got the TJ Yeldon news. Will we go another season ever without Davis jamming in TJ Yeldon?
I mean, I literally tweeted it when Singletary. I was like, all I ask out of every NFL season is just to get to play my boy TJ Yeldon once. That's all I ask.
Has it ever worked out?
No.
I'm sure in his career he's had a good game. Let's look it up.
If he did, it was when we didn't have him.
He's had
him, and it ended up being Chris Ivory 2 touchdown games.
So he's had 3 career 100-yard rushing games. Seems like he only started 2 of those though. And yeah, dude, I'm sure it's worked out. Before.
Yeah, undoubtedly.
One of those, because here's the thing. I would never create a bias like this about a play unless it worked out once. If it worked out one time, that means I got to go back to it 30 times. I mean, the thing is, he's probably not going to be in the NFL next year, though, is the thing.
Yeah, you could have a Marshawn Lynch type, somebody just picks him up for the last week after a bunch of injuries. And
yeah, that'd
Davis
be dope.
Jams them in. Got to just jam in TJ Yeldon. On a slate with all sorts of awesome running backs. You just got to get in the backup for the Bills at 3K.
No, Sammy, there was beat reporter news. There was a lot
of
talk
the beats were saying that Yeldon was going to get the work.
All the work. It was not a random, I think this is going to happen. It was when you read the tea leaves, there was –
cards on the table. I was tweeting at Bills beat reporters this morning, asking, and they were all saying that Yeldon was going to get the work. So
those guys don't know squat, bro.
No, I've actually ran pretty hot with them this year. The the big Jonathan Williams game, and then also finding out that Ty Johnson was not going to be the dude in that first game. I've been running hot with beats this year.
Yeah, then why did we spend $50 a fab on Ty Johnson? And why?
I don't want to hear it from you. You wouldn't go to $44 on Phillip Lindsay. I don't want to hear it from you.
All right, fair. But that one Colts beat reporter also said that Williams was going to get all the work the next game, and he didn't, and he got benched in the first quarter.
No one's played him in cash. You're never going to run 100% on these things, Sammy.
Pretty sure I played him in cash. And Davis is yeah, dude, I talked to the beat reporter and screenshotted me the DM, and he's he says it's good. Bunch of work for Williams. Yeah.
I'm sure you probably cashed that week too somehow.
How much work did Reichwell get?
Reichwell smash. I think he got like 19. He did
Reichwell
really good.
smash, but it was all receiving. It was
Did he actually get a bunch of work?
he got 10 carries for 33 yards, and Divino Zigbo got 9 carries.
Yeah, 10 and 9. Okay. Dang.
It was just complete. It was just complete random that he had a good game basically.
Week 17 sucks. Why did I play Saints?
No, week 17 does not suck. Week 17 is the best.
Davis,
this
have
was
you
great.
ever won on week 17? I feel like we always think week 17 is going to be good.
No, here's the thing. It's the same as the It's the
Nobody
same as my
loses in
TJ.
NBA
It's my Yeldon bias. It was because back when DFS wasn't dead and people didn't know all the plays. Do you remember the Niall Davis Week 17 game?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
2014 or whatever.
Yeah, literally 2014. But it's still the positive bias associated from like Niall Davis being 21% owned during like a 35 burger. Like that's what it's all from. So, tight end, we all played the same. We all played Dallas Goedert.
Yeah.
I am surprised Sammy did. That seems like a Sammy fade.
Nah, I mean, bro, it's like, would you play Zach Ertz at 4.9? Yeah. So
Well, like,
You
would
would-
you play
you would-
Austin Hooper at 4.4K?
Would you play Tyler Higbee yet?
not
Would you play Tyler Higbee at 3,900?
Dude, you guys swear like I didn't just smash like Jonnu and Will Disley and
No. The one. What was the one that was so? I think Jonnu was the one that put. Oh, because I had Brait in the same game,
yeah,
and they were. Yeah, that was the one that put me on the most tilt.
Giesecke.
Giesecke's whatever. Giesecke was
Gieseke's
not
a
like a
goat.
horrible play.
But I
Yeah.
played him over Hooper.
I mean, whatever.
And you guys
I'm not
just
the
roasted
one.
me. That-
The one I actually think is inexcusable was
The
Higbee
Higbee.
over Thomas.
I think it was the fact that it was Higbee and Hooper back to back that was just like,
That really,
you know,
yeah, that was so triggering. Yeah,
you always
yeah,
just have
yeah.
some random tight end that I'm just like, what? Like,
Yeah.
because it's more of an art, Nate.
yeah, I just gotta.
Like Sammy's here just roasting us, just stacking his chips. New kid, got a new microphone, and we're just here, just like, dude, you didn't play the GTO tight end, bro.
Dude, do I sound good though? I need the listeners to tweet at me and let me know if I sound a lot better. My wife got me a new Yeti mic for Christmas.
You sound great.
Thanks, dude. Thanks. I feel great. Everything feels good.
Nate, your team was so bad.
It was real bad.
Hold
I
on.
literally-
Let's go. I haven't even looked at Nate's team. I just saw that you scored under 120 and I
It was
Nate played Robert Foster and Kelvin Harmon somehow.
was it, dude, weren't you just body bagging my receivers?
Well, yeah. I
What
played
is
Devontae,
that?
Robert Foster. Devontae and Robert Foster were 2 of the 3 wide receiver plays. I didn't get Sims. Sims was the 3rd.
Sims and or Ward, I think, was pretty mandatory.
I don't.
But
think
you
I
also-
would've-
You
I don't
also
think I
didn't
would've
play the
done
Bears defense, which is so what like
I would have played Watson over Ward.
no.
I
Nate,
would've.
you played Tom Brady, TJ Yeldon, Robert Foster, and Kelvin Harmon.
Lot of dust buckets. Okay, wait, hold on. Do you guys remember the week when I played Maurice Harris for the Washington Redskins?
I do because we both played him that week. We were together on this.
Mo Harris week.
Oh man.
Mo hair. I love it.
Wait a second.
great.
Dude, looking at this now, this is the first time in maybe 3 years I played Tom Brady. Maybe even in playoff slates.
Dude, what's his ADOT? Is it like 4.5?
It's got a 2.
Dude, he throws like half of his passes behind the line of scrimmage.
Dude,
I think
Patrick Laird getting chunk yardage against the New England Patriots today in this win was like I was like levitating. I really wish that we would have gone to meet him after this game. Can you imagine? Would have been so big.
That would have been great.
Week
Week
I'm
17
pretty sure he's like with like 12 Instagram models after this game and not hanging
Bro,
out with you.
He's engaged, bro.
Cool.
Still.
Yeah, still. All right, 13 Instagram models.
I didn't want to pay up at quarterback. I hate week 17. I didn't want to pay up a quarterback. I didn't know who was going to play the whole freaking game. And I knew Brady was. He was 6K, a team total of 30-something. I was like, oh, seems easy.
Brady was not the reason that your lineup was dust.
No,
Nate.
CMC was. CMC made me do stupid things because I had Zeke and Jones and then Reichwell before the Yeldon news.
All right, so let's talk about running backs because we all did something a little bit different, and we all did something fishy. So we all played McCaffrey.
Me and Davis had the same players, I think.
Oh, did you?
We did.
Oh God, you both played Yeldon. Jesus, dude, Nemo Knowling and Minomatic is just like out of control right now.
Yeldon was fine. Like
Sammy, you missed the beats.
You missed the beats, Sammy.
I with the doctor.
Honestly, the Yeldon in a vacuum, fine. Yeldon at opportunity cost of Armstead and Damian, probably not the best decision I've ever made.
Yeah, so I played McCaffrey, which was nah. I played Damian, which was just a straight smash. Like, I don't know why you guys didn't do that. And then I played Aaron Jones over Zeke, and I really don't have an excuse for that. I was just like, dude, Aaron Jones is...
You really need to put your hand in the dirt, I think. Like, it seems like you need to watch the games.
Yeah, so I watched the
like,
games last week. Aaron Jones is busting 60-yard touchdowns. Look, what was the difference in their projections? Because I didn't look at any of this stuff this week, honestly.
I was higher on Jones, and I was literally thinking to myself, I'm like, why am I higher on Jones to Zeke Elliott? And I was like, I'm just giving, like with Jamal Williams out, I was skewing things way too much towards Jones. And I looked at the industry, and I was like, this is a bad play by me to play Jones over Zeke. I said that
some places were projecting Jones higher, and
I had Jones individually in my model projected a little bit higher, and then I was like, this is not good.
And then what they did was they just gave like Tyler Irvin and Dexter Williams 12 touches. Yeah, they just ran their same offense.
Okay, so in fairness, like Jones ran pretty poorly. I know that stuff at the end.
Zeke.
I know that stuff at the end worked out for him, but he missed it. Like, I know that he was missed many times in the passing game, including like an easy touchdown. And
well, yeah,
Rodgers
so it's like how TJ Yeldon had to fight through having a bad quarterback. Aaron Jones had to do the same thing in terms of fighting through having a bad quarterback. It's just if your quarterback's gonna miss every throw and just like get sacked and run around and look like an idiot, it's just hard to get fantasy points. And let me tell you this. The Packers might have won this game. This is, honest to God, I mean, one of the worst games I've ever seen Aaron Rodgers play. He looked like Jacob Eason out there, which is only a funny joke to people who watch college football.
Devontae could have had 160 yards here. Should have had 160 yards here.
Aaron Jones, in fairness, had 25 rushes and 6 targets against the Lions.
15 points. At more money.
Don't be a results-based fish, Nate.
Yeah. Dude, a lot of targets and touches, bro.
He was Aaron Jones. The correct play was not Aaron Jones over Ezekiel Elliott. The correct play was Aaron Jones over Christian McCaffrey, who was just a stupid bad play.
Yes, I'm not arguing that. I would have if I didn't play CMC. Man, seriously, if it wasn't for this Bills news.
Yeah, it'd just be a set print today, obviously. Well, I don't know what you had.
All you guys had to do was like have a baby and not hear any noise about the Bills' backfield.
My team before that had Jones, Zeke, and Reichwell.
I just needed no. I mean, even if the Bills' backup running back was someone else, if it was just not TJ Yeldon, if it was just some other guy, like if it was Divine Ozigbo was on the Bills instead of the Jaguars and it was that guy, I would have not played him.
That is a fact, unless it was Chris Ivory, and then you also would have.
Oh, if Chris, yeah, dude, I mean Chris Ivory's not even in the NFL, but if they signed him for this game, it would have been a jam sesh.
Yep. Or Niall Davis.
Oh, dude, if Niall Davis came back, or Christine Michael?
Oh,
all jams.
I would have played Christine Michael.
Yeah, these would have all been jams.
Guys, this was bad. I'm looking at this team. This is bad.
Yeah, this is not your finest work.
How did I play Brady? I haven't played Brady in years. What was I doing?
Do you want me to make you feel better?
I hate Brady. Yes, make me feel better because I hate Brady.
All right, I'm gonna read off the team from my biggest game. I got this sent to me in a 109 invite. This team did not crack 100. They played Carson Wentz. They also played Aaron Jones over Ezekiel Elliott. They also played Christian McCaffrey. They also played Robert Foster, got the 0. And then did the triple wide receiver 4K thing. Foster, Ward, Watson, played Dallas Goedert. You're thinking, oh, well, like, okay, this seems like maybe this person's not a complete stone idiot, right? No, you would be wrong. This person played Kareem Hunt and then chose to play the Steelers defense in a game where the Baltimore was going to throw like no passes and do nothing. Just what you would say is the toughest of scenes. So maybe that'll make you feel better, Nate.
Nate probably feels bad because this person didn't send him any 109s.
Exactly.
Nate could have actually won a head-to-head today.
Yeah, my feelings are not correlated with my DraftKings balance. So,
mine are.
Here's the thing. I also don't know why I didn't play the Bears defense. I had the money for the Packers, but why didn't I just play the Bears? Bears were 80% owned in cash, and I feel bad about
Yeah, because they were literally just the easiest play.
Yeah. I mean,
So do we want to talk about some of the worst plays we've made this year?
I think so.
Harmon has to be up there for me.
Now that we've talked about Nate's lineup, which is the worst play we've made all year. Yeah.
I mean, Robert Foster versus Duke Williams, that being a 20-point 1v1. That's so like that if I just play fat slow Duke, I'm windmilling over you right now, Sammy, just being like, "Oh, you're such a dumb fish, dude, playing Jones, you dumb idiot."
This must be I'm so glad we get to finish the season like this. I mean, this just feels great.
No,
This
dude,
is
the
awesome.
first couple weeks of the season were where it was at. When all you fish weren't playing Winston. Those are the days.
What a way for the season to end. Nate playing frickin' noodle arm Brady and Sammy just jamming in Jameis throwing to Brashad Perryman.
We should have played Perriman, honestly.
Honestly,
Like,
I should have.
That was the alpha play.
Perryman would have been egregious.
That is incorrect.
I mean, it's easy to say it's not egregious after the fact, but dude, did you see Perryman's touchdown?
Yes, it was insane.
I mean, that was the most Jameis play of all time.
He's
Like,
basically
literally-
Mike Evans.
I mean, no, I'm saying the throw. The throw was every other quarterback in the NFL. Like, they make that throw, they're just they're benched. Like, they're just and no one else would make it because they know they'd get benched. Well, Rodgers would make it, but he'd throw it just 10 yards too high so that it counted as a target, but it went out of bounds and
But
would
then
not be
Rodgers would point
intercepted.
at the receiver and blame the receiver for running the wrong route.
Oh my God! Did you see him get mad at Lazard as he got injured? Lazard just like gets speared and is like getting carried off the field, and Rodgers is just like, "Come on, man, what are you doing?"
Yeah, and Lazard bailed him out and made multiple huge plays.
I mean,
for them
did you
to
see
win.
Lazard's touchdown?
Yeah,
It was
did.
insane. I mean, dude, Rodgers
is so bad.
worst.
Dude, he's dust.
Dude.
He's so
Rodgers
bad.
is dust.
Do you know that this is a true fact? They're 13-3.
Yeah. I don't know
Imagine.
how that happened.
The Ravens are going to skull cap them if they somehow make it to the. Can you imagine if they make it to the Super Bowl? It'll just be.
The spread will be 14.5.
What's the record for largest spread? We could actually see the largest spread in a
For the
Super Bowl
Super
this
Bowl,
year if the
NFC
Saints.
Not great.
Well, if the Saints don't win, so if it's anyone other than the Saints, I mean, or any other NFC playoff
Niners.
teams, good. I don't even think the Niners are good.
The Niners played them to within 3 points in Baltimore when they played. So the spread would not be that big. The spread would be 4.
Okay, so if the Niners and the Saints don't win, if something weird happens, officiating, injury, whatever, we could legitimately see a 9-point spread in the Super Bowl or something.
What if they played Seattle? Double digits.
12.
Is Pete Carroll the worst, best perspective? So many people think of Pete Carroll as a good coach. Is he the biggest difference between actual good and bad coach that exists in the NFL?
I mean, he's
him
so
or Mike
bad.
Tomlin.
He's
Never
so
mind
bad.
Tomlin.
I mean, the spike, everything he does, I just look at him and I go, how does he still have a job? And so many people just talk about the culture and the other, and like, he has to be the biggest gap between like perceived good and actually bad in the whole NFL.
So
is the correct answer Sean McVay?
No, Sean McVay's good.
Are we sure?
Yeah, we sure.
Okay. All right.
Sean McVay's
I'm not sure.
All right.
You guys see Robert Woods scored another touchdown today?
Yeah, I saw it. I thought of you guys.
He almost ran for another one too. Almost a double dong. I mean, no big deal.
Rushing floor.
Yeah, the gadget floor. I think my worst play this year was Kenny Stills any of the 3 times I played him.
was it the first, second, or the third time that you played Kenny Stills in cash?
I think the 3rd time I should have just known better. All my worst plays this year were 4K wide receivers who just suck. I'm looking at this though, the D.D. Westbrook game where he got 1 target, 0 receptions, 0 yards, and left injured at the half against the New York Jets. That also is up there with one of the worst plays I made. You know what though? I think the real winner has to be when Nate and I both played James White's 0.9 DK points the week before he got
1 yard.
He got 41 DraftKings points the next week, Sammy.
The next week.
41.
Dude, he had
Hands
1
down,
total
that's the
yard
worst
in that game.
He was 5K.
That was the best. You guys are the best. I think Nate had these back-to-back weeks. It was week 3, 4, and 5, I believe. Week 3, Nate played 4 wide receivers for the first time in cash, and that was the Rex Burkhead week where he was the best value on the slate at 3.9, and he scored.
I faded him.
Oh my gosh, I had completely forgotten.
Oh yeah, he scored 18.9, and Nate played 4 wide receivers in cash.
But you that same week did not play Julian Edelman, who left injured at half with 20.
That was my.
Well, you know, it's more of an art, bro.
It's more
you have to understand.
Sammy, I respect you. I think you're great at fantasy. You ran like an Apollo level god this year. Do you remember this, Nate? Keenan Allen coming off of a 45 burger. Mike Williams is horrible. Hunter Henry's out injured. No Melvin Gordon. Sammy's just like, Keenan Allen's 6K? Nope.
Fade that.
Easy fade. Easy
fade, you guys. Smash again. I don't think I lost a week in the second half of the season. Like I just ran like the sun's ass. Just like fading every good play. Like who gives a damn?
You need to keep this in mind next year when you start building lineups to not tempt the fates too much.
Yeah. Okay. So week 3 he fades. Nate fades Burkhead. Week 4 he fades Christian McCaffrey when he was still under 9K, and he has 37
I'd forgotten
touches.
That was even a thing.
Yeah, 37 touches and 34 DraftKings points. Nate faded him so he could play Kerryon Johnson. And then week 5,
my gosh, I forgot the Kerryon Johnson injury week.
Yes,
that was tilting.
Yeah.
Dude, I reverse Sammied it this year. I got like all these bad games.
I middled it. I had a hot first half of the year, and then I fell off at the end.
Yeah, and then week 5 we all faded Will Fuller, culminating in my quote via text that you shared on Twitter. Will Fuller isn't really a cash play, and Will Fuller was the chalk and went 14 for 217.
I mean,
and 3 touchdowns.
He scored the most DraftKings points of any player this year, any position, any week.
And it
was the most points in history ever.
I believe it was. I believe it was the most. It was the most since the Jamal Charles Raiders game, I believe.
I mean, that was just like, dude, we all got buried.
Yeah, he was 40+%.
Like he just went off, and it was like some random who was.
Yeah, it's not like when Brashad Perryman scored 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, nobody cares about that. But this was that buried us.
I mean, and then literally, wasn't it 2 weeks later? How many weeks later was it when Kirk did it?
No, it was 5 weeks later. I believe that was week 10.
I know.
That was the week. Yeah.
At one point this year, I played Sammy Watkins in cash at $7,000.
Yes.
and then Nate played him over Christian Kirk in the Kirk week. Yeah.
When he was 5,200 though.
I literally don't think I would play Sammy Watkins in a full slate if he was the same price as Robert Foster. I think I'd rather just play Robert Foster.
3K Watkins, I'm actually cool.
3K Watkins. I will play. I mean, I'd play DeMarcus Robinson over him.
I mean, that would be sharp. My favorite Davis moment, and this wasn't even a fish play, but it was just like the best moment of the year, was when you played Mark Andrews that week where he dropped like 3 touchdowns. Davis is tilting, and he dropped like 3 touchdowns, and Darren Waller went 7 for 126 and 2 touchdowns. And that was the week that Davis said he couldn't sell his sperm and like threw his iPhone. I mean, that was
what about the week when Nate punted quarterback, defense, and wide receiver 3 to get 6K Waller?
We set the Gillcast record for time saying the word Whopper on that podcast.
Nate played Matt Schaub in cash this year, and Sammy, both you did. Both you and I played Matt Ryan at cash once this year, and he left injured in both games.
Yeah, I played him that week where he scored 2.5 points and he left injured, and he was playing Jared Goff in the same game. And I was just like, oh, I'll just play Ryan. Like, he seems a little safer. And Goff scored 29. And it was just like that 1v1 completely buried me. Yeah.
Love a good 1v. You know what? I should have split today. And I even thought about it. And I was like, dude, I don't want to admit that I split on the podcast.
Yeah, mentally weak.
Like, that is so mentally weak to split, but I like there's literally not one good financial or mathematical reason to not have split those guys. They were projected for, I bet when I look, I bet they're projected for literally the same.
Yeah, and I really think it's okay when you're like playing 3K guys on the same team and you really have no idea. Like, why not chop?
Yeah, I mean, so we had literally Duke for 10, Foster for 9, McKenzie for 8, and they're all 3K.
I would not have shamed you for doing that.
I would have shamed myself though.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember some of the other horrible plays.
Well, we had one recently. I think it was week 12. Nate played 4 wide receivers again. So this is like, what's your favorite week that Nate played 4 wide receivers? This was this was the week that
60% of the time.
Yeah, this was the week that Derrick Henry went like 160-2 in the late slate.
Oh my God, you played Derrick Henry in cash.
You played Derrick Henry in
cash. Dude, he was mega chalk and he smashed.
No, he was. I remember, and I played Fournette, and Fournette was like just like literally begging to like get 20, like having to get like Gardner Minshew to
Yeah, and so Nate had no idea that Derrick Henry was the chalk, and so in the second half, Nate's winnings just went down and down and down, and he's like texting us like, "What the frick is going on?" It's like Derrick Henry's the chalk.
Derrick Henry chalk week was so tilting, and then watching Soccer Dave just run his mouth off on Twitter about D. Hember.
I mean, that is by far the worst thing about any like this whole Titans thing. The worst part has been the kitchen has been enjoying it. Yeah,
it really is. Like
the Sahember to remember tweets. They've got to stop. I think I muted Soccer Dave. I might have blocked him. I'm not sure.
Well,
okay, all right, wait. What about when I played David Montgomery in cash and he got like 6?
I'm pretty sure I played him that week too. But Davis, you were so mad about it because you hate David Montgomery.
I hate him. Yeah. I gotta do better. I gotta do better on just not playing guys who I hate. Like, just why would I ever play David Montgomery or James White?
Who was your most played running back? For me, it had to be Fournette. I think I played Fournette or CMC every.
That's got to be the two for me.
Sammy?
Well, I mean, if you count GPP entries, maybe Laird, because I locked him in 2 different weeks.
He had 100.
Sammy, who was the most 300 back?
God, I don't know.
CMC for sure.
Yeah, but I faded. I definitely faded him at a couple inopportune times.
Sammy
You know, I kind of
CMC.
spread it around because you have to
Sammy was on
understand.
team fade CMC most of the.
Also,
No.
Sammy,
No,
how
no,
do
no,
you
no.
feel? How do you feel retroactively about your decision of playing Leonard Fournette over Alvin Kamara after watching him the last 3 weeks?
I don't want to talk about that.
That results wise wasn't bad at all, but it is the stupidest thing you've done. I think that was egregious.
Let me just tell you, if Leonard Fournette was as good as Raquel Armstead, he would have had an epic season.
It's
completely epic season.
I was actually like, I'm not even kidding you. I was watching the Jaguars thinking like, what if Fournette could just move like that? Like, what if Fournette was actually just that fast? And so this actually wasn't even a touchdown, but Raquel got a target in the end zone that he dropped. But the play that they ran to target him, they could have never run with Fournette because Fournette can literally not move his body fast enough to run the passing route needed. Because it was like one of those naked boot, and then you pitch it over the lineman, and the guy just is wide open to catch it. You could never do that with Fournette because he's literally not fast enough to turn the corner.
Yeah, he's like Derrick Henry, only he never gets up to speed.
To the top speed. He just looks like he's accelerating the whole time.
Right. Like Henry comes around the corner, and when he cuts back, like he can get into like fourth gear, and Henry and Fournette is just in second gear all the time. Like he just never gets out of it. So yeah, I played too much.
Did any of you guys play Le'Veon Bell at any point this year?
Sammy
I played him once
5 times.
No, I played him once, and he did great. I also played Todd Gurley once. You guys remember that?
Oh.
And he got like 2 touchdowns and 38 yards.
You need to go buy lottery tickets or go play in like some MME like poker tournaments. You need to test this luck out right now.
You know,
Sammy
he
ran
just
very hot.
he scores touchdowns. But it was over like you guys played some fish running back that was really bad.
Sam,
And I just
hey,
played
how about
Gurley.
that time you guys both played Malcolm Brown? Remember
Easy
that?
money, dude. He just scores touchdowns.
No, Malcolm Brown got like 2 points.
Yeah,
that
easy.
week.
He just scores touchdowns, dude.
And he was like,
No, the
he
Malcolm Brown play was fine. It was fine.
That was a bad play.
Defenses don't matter. It was fine.
Dude, what was that week where you played
It was against the 49ers.
What was that defense you played that one week, Davis? You played like the
I played
what was it?
the Bills against the
Bills.
Patriots, but they got like 6. They weren't even that bad. It was just people back then thought the Patriots were good, but I knew they weren't.
There's another one. I feel like you played the Chargers when they were against Minnesota or
just-
something. like that.
No, I played the Chargers like 3 weeks ago, and they got negatives.
Yeah, in like an egregious spot. When they were, I don't know.
There was that one time where Davis just randomly played the Bills. Like it was just
That
Yeah,
was
at
that was week 4 against the Patriots.
Yeah. Yeah, why'd you do that?
Defense don't matter, bro.
There was the week that Nate played in the same cash lineup. He played Fitzgerald Landry and Jamison Crowder. Like the all old guy, like 2.5 yard ADOT with no
Dude,
upside.
I literally think that Jamison Crowder probably finished the year. I bet if I look right now, he's like a top 20 fantasy wide receiver somehow.
Yeah, he was actually good. He was good.
and
this
he's
year.
only like 25, 26 years old. He's not old.
He's
Isn't he?
like
Wow.
he put together one of the worst combines I've ever seen. He's like slow and small, but like it just all bad. What can you do?
Yeah.
Man, this was a fun year, you guys. We had a lot of fun here.
Todd Gurley
First half of the season
having
was much better. IMO.
789 rushing yards and 12 touchdowns is just like that's Sammy's season right there.
Well, he actually had 14 because he had 2 receiving, I believe.
That is
So.
true.
Yeah.
Did anybody ever play David Johnson in cash this year? I feel like Somebody
We
did
thought
once.
about it the one week where he came back and he
Yeah.
was like 5,200, but none of us did.
Yeah, and then
think
Edmonds
Sammy was close.
ended up smashing that week. And then
Sammy,
the
you
next
were
week
close
I
that
played
week.
Edmonds.
And he got 3 points.
Yeah, and dusted out. Yeah. That was tilting. That was very tilting. Dude, I had a lot of guys leave with injury, though. Like, for all the run good
You
I
didn't.
had.
You definitely did not have Dede Westbrook leave with 0 points in a week where you just needed 5 for you, though.
or Julian
Yeah,
Edelman.
that
having
didn't happen.
20.
And didn't you play Ben the week that he snapped out, too?
Oh my
He
God!
did.
Yeah! That was like week 2.
Yep. The week where Ben decided he actually had enough, and there was no, and the Steelers got fined. They got fined later on for not reporting his injury before the game. That might have been useful information. Might have been helpful.
Yeah, Davis tweeted about it like 5 weeks later. He's like, yeah, not happy.
The guy I'm the most mad at though was Mark Andrews. That game that he had 5 catches for 99 yards and a drop touchdown, inexcusable, dude.
Well, Waller smashed and just got all the whopper. Yeah.
Waller
that was a
had
very
to be
tough scene.
My most owned tight end this year.
You mentioned it earlier, Davis, that when Brate and Jonnu went head to head and you took Brate and not Jonnu, and Brate got 6.2 and Jonnu got 19.8.
You do. I mean, like, I everyone feels this way. Everyone always thinks about the stuff they got wrong. That's that close more than the stuff they got right. But I really feel like I ran just horribly under expectation on 1v1s this year, which, like, whatever, it happens. But certainly, like, my year would be a lot different if just a couple of those 1v1s went my way. Or, I mean, the biggest 1v1 was Woods versus Kupp, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers week in GPPs. I had like the nuts, but I had just the wrong Rams wide receiver in like the $50 single entry and the $27 single entry and stuff. And
was that the week? Was that one of Kupp's 200 pluses?
Yeah, that would have paid for my year had I had. I mean, that was back when we didn't know that Brandon Cooks was just a reanimated corpse. So that was back when he was still being rostered.
And we also didn't know that Cooper Kupp was basically Michael Thomas. We weren't aware of that.
No, that was actually when Nate had declared that Cooper Kupp was Michael Thomas. Who has more receiving yards on the year, Kupp or Woods?
I'm gonna go Kupp still, because he had multiple 200-yard games.
He got blanked in 2 games though.
Yeah.
Robert Woods before today had 5 more receiving yards.
No way, really?
After today, then it's Kupp.
But Woods has
199. Yeah.
Woods has 106 rushing yards, so more yards overall. That's just science, dude. That's science.
Kupp's just a better play. Kupp's just the better player.
Are you enjoying playing Cooper Kupp at 7,700? Do you think that was sharp all those times?
Once. I haven't played Cooper Kupp once.
He's not so he's not Michael Thomas?
I just told you couldn't be playing Robert Woods at 7K, and I was right. He was a bad play.
I mean, that is we're rehashing all the fishy things that we did, but I think we did a lot of sharp things too, including just playing Michael Thomas all the time. That was
definitely something that we figured out. The other people, like, he's still, like, even last week when he was 9,300, I think he was still only like 50%, which is not even close to as much as McCaffrey ever was when he was in one of those super spots.
Yeah,
the couple things we were early on: Winston, Waller, and the Michael Thomas stuff. Those were like the 3 things.
Yeah, that's very true.
Also,
like, we joke about the weeks that one of us faded CMC. Like, we all had our moments, but for the most part, we just played CMC all the time too, and that worked out consistently all season. And it seems so obvious. It's like, oh yeah, he's the best player. And then we also did a decent amount of paying up for Lamar Jackson in a lot of spots. All of us did. Jameis was great, but
Lamar probably my most played guy, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I mean, some of these things just seem obvious, but like a lot of people weren't doing it. They talked themselves out of these plays that were really just good, and they fished their ways out of it. So we're joking a lot about the stupid things we did, and there was a lot of them, but we did sharp things occasionally too.
We probably also did. I'd say we did better than 50-50 on like the injury replacement running backs, like the Gallman game and the Jalen Samuels like 13 reception game, but like we did not play Ty Johnson the week where he filled in.
Right.
Like the Rex Burkhead game with the like I would say we did a better job than not of the. Well, wait, nope. Did I faded Latavius Murray?
Oh,
snap! Oh, God! You saved the best for last, Davis. Thank you.
I had completely forgotten.
That was my favorite one of the season.
Oh, because it was against the Bears, and I played the Bears defense in that game.
Yes.
Oh,
And the
yeah!
Bengals had like the 3 touchdown game.
Dude,
He
what did
he had
dude,
he had 100 he had 119 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns with 6 receptions.
And he was like, what, 5K? Just like the slam of the century.
Just the easiest play of the
And you
year.
were like,
Oh
I
my
looked at his-
god.
I was at his player profile all morning.
No,
and
I
stuff,
literally it was the first time ever in my life I considered a defensive matchup. It was a good time to do it.
Defense don't matter.
Well, that was also back when Teddy was the quarterback too, so I don't know.
That was the thing. We never got off Thomas when Teddy was the QB, and a lot of people did.
Yeah. Yeah. And you and I didn't get off Latavius, the only healthy running back in the New Orleans Saints backfield for 5K.
Who was literally a goal line monster in a game where,
Oh my god.
Davis,
Yeah,
that was
you
bad.
did that, Davis. That was your worst move of the season. Regardless of anything else, that has to be the worst move.
the James White thing hurts.
I still think Kenny Stills the third time was probably worse.
No, because he was so low price. Like,
Dude, it doesn't matter. Like, Kenny Stills is just fancy Robert Foster.
I really enjoyed the next week when Stills scored 2 touchdowns as the number 3 receiver.
No, dude. So if you go look at his game logs, you can literally pinpoint the week after I played him every time.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even kidding. So against Carolina, 2 catches, 24 yards. Then against Indianapolis, 5 targets, 105 yards. Played him against Oakland, 3 for 22. Like it's horrible.
But didn't play Will Fuller the week he was 4.5.
You know.
Yeah.
wait, are Saints?
It's more of an art.
I'm just reading on Twitter. Are the Saints signing Antonio Brown?
Maybe. He did a workout with them.
Yeah.
That'd
But he
be
brought
crazy.
he brought an entourage, bro. Can't bring the entourage.
That'd be pretty crazy.
I don't even know. I don't even really think it's like that good of a fit.
You mean?
He'd
across from-
get
they're
like
not going to let him play, bro. They're not going to let him play.
He'd get like 4 targets a game and he'd complain.
Yeah, they're not going to let him play. Like Goodell said, they're gonna blacklist him or whatever.
He's on the commissioner's exempt list.
Yeah, I mean the big question to ask is, will Antonio Brown ever play another snap in the NFL?
No. Seems unlikely at best.
I'm gonna go with no also.
You know what I was thinking today, Sammy?
Remember the beginning of the season?
Oh my God! Over 100 receptions.
Yeah.
You know what? I was actually
Nate took the over.
I was actually just checking my account and looking at some of the ones. And
did you do the Jameis prop? Because I was all over the Jameis prop.
I did. Yeah, I had a good year with props. But do you guys happen to remember our gold star 5-star lock of the year?
Lamar
max
Jackson.
bet?
No, it was
Lamar
Derrick
Jackson,
Henry,
14 and a half.
Under.
It was the Derrick Henry
under.
under 1,200 rushing yards. I mean, the Lamar Jackson. We also
Probably got it in 4 games.
I had a good year of season long props, and I'm not trying to make myself sound like, because these, like, literally, I think a toddler could beat these props, but losing the Derrick Henry under rushing yards, like literally in like week 8, felt pretty bad.
Yeah, he only won the NFL rushing crown. I thought our gold stars were Lamar and the unders on Antonio Brown. Like those were huge.
I mean, the biggest bet I made was over 14.5 passing touchdowns for Lamar.
I want to know if my Jordan Hicks leading the NFL in tackles plus 10,000 prop came through.
Sammy, nobody cares about your defense takes.
That is incorrect. The people love it, and this was a really sharp take.
It was really sharp, but he did not lead the NFL in tackles.
Oh, bummer. Where'd he finish?
I don't know. I'm just looking at his individual page, and I see that 137 tackles is not bolded, which means that he did not lead the league in it.
Tackles, he finished fifth. Top 5.
Do you get paid out for that?
No. Zero money. That's a good year. That was a good prop.
Good prop. Good sweat. Good sweat for you.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Do you guys want to try and do – I mean, I'm not going to want to record anything on Sunday nights during the playoffs, but do you guys want to try and do something during the playoffs?
I'd be willing to do
Yeah.
something, just not Sunday nights at whatever time.
Yeah.
I'm pretty free, honestly, because now I'm just hanging out with my kid at home. I'm on man leave, so whenever you guys want to do some stuff, I'm in. We can sweat it. We
All
can
right.
tilt it.
All right. Let's actually go look at Super Bowl odds real quick, because I'd like to make a bet. I have
Whatever
one
the Ravens are at is probably too low.
Fact.
too low, and what do you mean?
Like
You're
there's
gonna
an
get a good
edge in
price.
betting the Ravens.
Because they are going to win.
I bet even before pulling it up, I bet they're like 2-1.
Seems good.
NFL, no, that's horrible. Yeah, 2.2 to 1 plus 220. The edge is
Oh, they're plus
in
220?
the edge is
would
the
be
edge
picking
is
the NFC team
it's to be the Saints.
because if you get
Dude, whatever. I'm just gonna bet Baltimore.
Literally imagine betting the Packers. Who's betting this? Who's betting the Packers at 8-1? Find me the person who's betting this.
There's a million of those Packer
Mr. Tuttle 05.
No,
No,
like
dude.
even a Packers fan can't think the team is good.
Yeah, dude. There are Packers stands online who believe Rodgers is still. I mean, dude, just look through your mentions when you tweet bad about Rodgers. Those people exist.
I got to be honest. I've muted so many people over the last 3 weeks. It's like I click on tweets and I literally can't see half the responses. It's just people who are trolling me they're just yelling into a void. So my Twitter experience has really been cleaned up.
That's awesome. Are any of them asking for your DK username? Because I would continjust continue to.
Yeah. Anyone listening to this,
username is Nate N.
If you're tweeting mean stuff at me and I'm not responding, just send me in an email to my username at DraftKings, DavisMattock.com. I read the subject lines. The subject lines to them are always good. They're always funny. For a while, I insulted our listeners and I said, "I know you're bad at DFS because you listen to a free podcast," and that was the subject line to a lot of them. They were like, "I'm bad because I listen to a free podcast."
That's very clever. And you're just like, yeah, I'm going to play Robert Foster. Come get some of this smoke.
I probably won't play cash for the playoffs. I don't think.
I normally don't. I just take shots on
it just ends up being playing cash on
GPPs
Thanksgiving and in the playoffs. It just ends up being so stressful, and I just tilt so hard that it's not even fun to watch.
Nah, the playoffs are for GPPs. It's fun. The
playoffs are for fading Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, it's more. I mean, the playoffs are really more of an art. You have to understand this.
It's more of an art. All right, everyone. Thank you for another awesome NFL season of the Gillcast. We hope that you left it a little more appreciative of the artistry that is DFS lineup creation, and we will, continue to see you back hopefully next week and next year as well.